Okay guys, we are now at the LG section.
Yeah, we've just left Samsung and we've come to LG, and I'm going to call it right now. This is probably what I think is the most innovative product at MWC this year.
Yeah.
Even though it was probably a bit of a letdown in the sense that we already knew what was going to happen because there's been leaks after leaks after leaks.
Many leaks, yeah.
So we pretty much knew the device inside out already. But this is the LG G5, and it really is, I guess the only way to describe it is different.
Yeah, true. As you can see on top of the device, there is a edge top.
Yeah. The screen curves slightly inwards, and much like the Edge, the Edge and the S7, it's got a slightly curved back as well to make it more slimline. I don't know if you can see that. But
see a little bit, yeah. It's a bit of a similar design language, I would say.
Yeah. But I think the big thing, unfortunately we can't test it because they've got that nice strip. But
oh yeah, they sealed it off completely.
You can take this off, and initially it comes with a battery, but because it's a modular design, you can take this off, you can get another battery, pop it in, close it, and then you have a fresh battery. Or
batteries, always popular.
Yep. It's a bit of a strange way to do it, and the phone does have to reboot when you do it, which I don't know if any of you know that, but it's a little bit of a niggle.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's two other attachments that you can get. There's a camera, and there's the DAC. And the camera attachment was a little bit underwhelming because it's essentially just a grip with a battery in it. It doesn't really alter the performance of the camera.
Alright, so it's just manual controls really that you can alter with physical buttons.
Yeah, so that's a little bit disappointing. But the camera itself is still very good. It's 16 megapixels. It's got a very wide angle lens. I think it's about human vision, and I believe the front camera is even wider. There's the cameraman.
Hey.
Or maybe it is the rear camera. I'm going to have to double check, but one of the cameras has a 130-degree field of vision, and I believe looking at it, it's got to be the rear.
That is the, yeah.
Which is just a bit more than the human eye, which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, you can see we've got like the entire booth in shot, and it's also not, it's good quality. I mean, I suppose you could argue that Samsung have probably got the edge when it comes to camera tech, but this is a good camera, and it's not. It's definitely an improvement over the G4. Obviously, we'll have to test it.
Yep.
Other quick things: it's got 4 gigabytes of RAM. It's got the Snapdragon 820, which means that it's obviously flagship level, and it runs on Android 6, which is the newest M. And of course, it's got USB-C. So you can't see it there, but it's got the newest USB standard, which is always nice. And you have a fingerprint sensor as well. And I suppose the last thing I can really say is that the battery in the G5 is actually not as much as you would expect. 2,800 milliamps, which is not that much. Compared to a lot of other 5 kind of devices of this size, which are going for around 3,000 milliamps, you would probably expect more, but it's not necessarily an issue when you can just take out the modular battery and swap it with another. Essentially, you could have 2 batteries and just carry them around, and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. So usually we'd say that having a slightly smaller battery is a bad thing, but not in this case. So yeah, I mean, that is the LG G5, and all in all, it's a very innovative device.
Yeah, it's definitely generated a lot of hype at MWC this year.
Yeah.
A lot of people are queuing up for it, having a look at it. We actually had to queue up for quite a bit to look at it.
And I suppose you could always argue that Samsung is better, but when it comes to innovation, I think LG do like to try things that are new. I mean, you saw it with the ticker display on the V10, and I think that the modular thing, if they release more attachments, could actually be something well, quite special on the device. As it is, there's only 3 to choose from. So
yeah, that is their unique selling point, and that will determine the success of the G5.
yeah, absolutely. But as it is, still a great handset. I think it looks great. I like the redesign. It's a lot different from the G4 and the G3, but I definitely think it's for the better. It feels more premium, and yeah, that's the G5. Good handset.
Brilliant. Okay, cheers guys. Catch us in the next video.